This is Stan, your instructor for art appreciation, and I just got a couple questions from some students that I thought would be helpful for you. So if you are looking at our first essay and wondering where do I start, here are a couple things that would come in handy. The first thing I would do is I'd go to the course home. Next to that, content. That's the big key here. Let's start there. And then scroll down to your Module 1. This is the first module that we're in this week, and that's where all of this stuff on the side here is going to give you more information about what the assignment is and what's being expected of you. The first question I got was, what is the DICP process? What does it do? I think I saw it somewhere. How do I use it in my essay? Well, if you go to Writing Skills Development, that's going to explain more fully the DCIP approach, or DICP, either way. But it's about how to describe an image in a way that works for you. You start off with a description. You're using the artwork itself, the materials, describing it in terms of form, and the art elements that we're learning about in the book. Iconography, an icon, just like on your computer screens, it's a visual key to meaning. So if I click a little bird that's blue, I know it's a Twitter icon. Okay, it's something that kind of as a placeholder or symbol for something else. So if you know what something looks like, there might be meaning attached. Under that, we've got context, and that's just the other elements involved with its creation. That could be the historical framework, or a time period that's relevant, or some other things that would be applicable, whether it's a socio-economic kind of connection, or something religious or political, or any of those other things. And then lastly is the point of view. So you're taking into account other factors like personal psychology, and kind of the motives of the artist behind their work. And with those four things, it simplifies what's being asked of you in a paper. So I hope that helps with that. I know writing on something that you're not used to writing about is always kind of a little scary and hard, but all of these little papers are adding up to confidence in writing about art and thinking in those art terms. The other thing I wanted to go into, that covers the Module 1. The more tools, rubrics are important. So these are all the rubrics that I use in class to grade your paper by. And my best suggestion for how to use a rubric is to look at it almost like a checklist. If you're a student and you're using a rubric to write by, you're making sure that you're getting the important things in the paper first. The things that are worth the most points are right there for you to see. So let's click the essay rubric and just click. So you click the little arrow and then click preview. And here is the rubric. Ta-da! So the big thing here is, okay, we've got essay content, scholarly research and sources, writing and organization, and an image. And all of those categories lead up to an overall score, but I have to grade you in each one of those things. If you had an amazing paper, the best paper I've ever seen, but you still didn't meet one of these other criteria, like say you missed an image, you didn't put one in, I couldn't give you 100. I'd have to leave you 5 points short, which out of 80 is still around an A, but a low A. Let's say you forgot to include a works cited page or some sources. That would be a big one. That would be this 0 here. No evidence of research. You forgot a works cited page and no, like you didn't research the material. That'd be a 60 out of 80, which really adds up. So it's not just about the content, although that is important. These are kind of things that all add up to a good score. And we can get into this further, but keep it simple. Just look for what's being asked. So I like to start out in this outstanding category and just see how close I can get to that with my paper as it is. And if it's not in that category, make a change to make it fall into this. So the first one, for an outstanding essay content, I want to see an essay that uses that DICP process that we just talked about to engage specific artwork as it relates to the argument, and you're answering all of the questions that are being asked within the prompt for the paper. The other part of that is this 800 to 1200 words. If you don't fall in that window, even if it's good, I can't give it to you. Like, those 35 points are really reserved for meeting all of those criteria. If you're fewer than that, then that starts out at best score as a 30. If some other parts of that first area weren't met, then it bumps down from there. Okay, so start in this outstanding category and really just try to go line by line and pre-assess your essay before turning it in. If you have any questions about this, feel free to contact me. We're all here to be successful. But I'm going to close that, and I'm going to just quickly open the discussion rubric, because it also matters. Your discussions are worth almost as much as your essays, so they add up, and you need to kind of keep track of that. So this week, our What is Art essay is kind of the main thing, and then the first part is content, just like with the essay. Are you adding something to the conversation? Are you answering all of the questions? Are you being substantial with your initial response? You're not just saying, "I like art, it's great." It's going beyond that and describing in detail what you mean by that. So that 250 word mark is a pretty good benchmark for substance, and as far as as far as length goes, what you're saying also matters in terms of quality. Okay, so, and then the reply posts. This is the biggest one that I see people kind of tripping over, which is they write a great start to the essay prompt. Their response is good, and then they fail to come back to class and reply to their peers. Part of discussion is engagement and re-engagement. So if you're able to write something about a prompt, you should also be able to respond to your peers' responses. If you're responding to at least 2 peers over more than one day, or at least 2 days, with a substantial 4 or 5 sentence long prompt, you've nailed that 10-point requirement. If you're including research, MLA citations, references, and an image, that's the other 10 points right here. These two categories will get you to that full credit post, because honestly, the discussions are there to engage with the material, but also will likely raise your grade if you're participating regularly. And honestly, it's not just about grade. One of the most satisfying parts of an online course, or any course, is the interaction that comes with the content. Learning should be engaging and communal. So embrace that, and you'll do really well in this class.